wake you up and open the eyes. Waking by a law, 15 minutes to 5G, 20 minutes to meeting, 30 seconds to the door. Look outside, looked into the eyes, personal flaw, 2,000 out the floor. Feeling gonna go out like push on a tail. Scared of whatever, not too scared to rise down. More, just another crowd. More, just another crowd. More, just another crowd. More, just another crowd. We need a gathering instead. Drink in the backgrounds. Liquid prep for the poor. Another member of the crowd goes down, drowned in the liquor store. Choose escape with the heartlands, running hand to hand. When you feel like a wasp in the swamp, gotta get away any way that you can. More, just another crowd. More, just another crowd. More, just another crowd. More, just another crowd. We need a gathering instead. To the shop, I went to the chip shop, went to the burger shop, did it on a rock stop. Hey, hey, I wanna try and take away. Hey, hey, woo, woo, woo. Hey, hey, I wanna try and take away. Hey, hey, woo, woo, woo. Went to these places. No television, no competition. Hey, hey, I wanna try and take away. Hey, hey, woo, woo, woo. Hey, hey, I wanna try and take away. Hey, hey, woo, woo, woo.
Anyone? Test.
Mic, check 1, 2.
Garbage.
I am in the
Cheese.
corner.
Tutti Frutti. Chocolate. Bluey. Yo yo yo. Apples. 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 Can we get a little bit more game? Overall, across the board for everyone. Let's go with the headphone level. See how that goes. Yo, cheddar. Ooh, that's good. Okay.
Child.
Good to me. It's good for everyone. Broccoli.
You should create an album where you sing all these great acapella and shit.
I just gotta find the right one, the right cut. An entire album of hip hop. Primarily album.
Okay. Okay, that now I'm getting plenty of me.
Yeah.
I'm getting more than enough me.
Okay, we're good.
That's a compliment. That's a compliment.
That's a compliment.
She's a big Dragon Ball Z fan, so that's a compliment. My best friend.
I call him a face. Oh, I gotta tell that to my kid.
Dealing with me. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. We gotta come to rehearsal. We need to be in a cadence, man, to get y'all.
I was just waiting for
whatever. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we need to.
We needed Pat. We
We
like
don't know
Adam.
what to do without Adam. We're lost
You know?
without him.
Man, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
He's our
Train
metronome.
Yeah.
Use your chi. Focus. Like your Super Saiyan nature. That's the wrong voice for everything. Yo, before the show, Eric over there. Eric. Dang, what did we decide on? It was
It's Rick.
Was it Ravishing Rick?
Ravishing Rick, but I just want
It's good.
Rick.
Just
I like Rick.
You can't be just Rick though, because we already got just Johnny, so
Right.
you can't.
Jocking his
I don't
style.
want just Rick. I just want Rick. Like, hey, Rick, what's up, Rick?
Regular Rick.
Like regular Rick.
Regular Rick. Regular Rick.
Just regular Rick.
Regular Rick Sanchez.
No, not a Sanchez, but just
Not
regular Rick.
Sanchez? Dang.
Like, I can't come up with any more creative. I just feel like, you know what? Just go with basic Rick.
I feel like you're missing golden opportunities.
I like basic Rick.
Basic Rick.
Basic Rick. Yeah, you go. There you go.
I like
Make
basic
some
Rick.
comments,
How about
that'd be
base Rick?
I like
Basic
That's
basic
pretty
Rick.
cool. Basic Rick.
Or Base Rick.
We can't have any of these.
No.
Okay,
No.
we got
Basic Rick. I do
Basic
like that.
Rick
Basic
and
Rick.
Just
That's
Johnny.
pretty
I
cool.
really like that. It's
Basic Rick, Just Johnny, mediocre mix.
I'm all right
Mediocre
with it.
mix.
Plain old Pat.
good. It's perfectly cromulent.
There you go.
Over there with Two Mess and Tom. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek Down here on WEMF Radio. I am Pat B. As you may have heard, we have we don't have a full house tonight, but we are loaded with geeks. I'm going to look to my left, and who is that I see? I spy with my little eye. Mix
Yes.
your spit lick.
Henlo.
The understated mix your spit mix.
Henlo.
All right. Okay, over there, Basic Rick.
Yeah, basically.
I like it.
Basically Rick.
You can't even say your name. To him.
Basically Rick.
All right, this guy right.
I gotta
there.
get used to it. I just got
Good.
dubbed this, so
It's good. Basically, Rick is good.
Nah, we'll work on something else, man. We can't have that Because
I like
and
basic.
I'll tell you why we can't have that, because we already have someone who's super simple, just Johnny.
Yo.
But that's what makes this an interesting foil.
That is not what makes us. That's man, you trying to make us one note. Stop that. Desist. All right? Because we have an action-packed, fun-filled show for you, as always, here on WEMF Radio on the Geek Down. I want to remind you all that if you're listening on WEMF Radio, you can also see our smiling faces.
I don't know why you'd
if you
want
tune
to.
into. Oh, well, I know why you would want to. You want a piece of this. You want a taste. Just let them get a taste. A little nibble.
Okay.
Just a quick lick.
No.
Just a quick lick.
That's not free.
Just right on the side. There you go. Taste it. It's scrumptious. That's right. On twitch.tv/thegeekdown, you can actually see us. Also, you can follow us on YouTube and broadcasting live on the Facebook feed. So hopefully you're seeing us on one of those. If you're not, you better get on that. But tonight we have an awesome show for you. I got that Batman Ninja lined up. We got Lightfall, Puzzle Platform Supreme,
Yep.
and cuteness out the ass.
It's real cute.
From what I hear. And dude, Johnny, you got to play.
I got to play a game called Wizard of Legend.
Of Legend, he says.
Yeah.
The legendary. You got to say it with it. You got an effective voice.
Wizard of Legend.
I'll take it.
Are you going to cast Magic Missile against the darkness? Because
There
that's what
is-
your voice is like veering toward right now.
There's so many magic misses.
I got to say the Jack Black in there. It was a little brutal legend.
You said a little Jack Black.
Yeah.
Just a sprinkle.
Yeah, Eddie. A little,
You sound like the side of an airbrushed van looks.
Nice. Can you ride a unicorn into the gates of hell
Yes.
with your axe? That's also an axe.
I shall ride forth into the gates of hell with my axe.
Yeah, see, we're ready. We got this. We're
Straight
good.
up Dr.
Little
Roxo.
known
Clearly
fact,
we
little
need-
known fact, yo. I just realized this. I was just told this. Scotland's national animal is the unicorn. It's like
Yes.
legit.
National
Yeah,
animal?
no, it really
It's
is.
legit.
Yes.
Like I looked
News
it
to
up.
me, for real.
No,
I
that's
looked
for
it
real.
up.
Yeah.
I confirmed it. I was like so flabbergasted when I heard it.
It's
I had
because
to
it comes
confirm
from heraldry. It's not because,
There we
like,
go. See, she
you know,
explained.
yeah, sorry.
Wait, Scotland comes from Heldry.
It's
All
from-
right, so
yeah.
if you can name your national animal as something mythological, what would you choose for America?
Oh man, that's a good one.
For America,
I'm going Pegasus, y'all.
Rat.
Rat?
just
Why just a rat?
A human rat, though.
What?
Yeah, like a human, a rat folk.
A rat fork?
why
Oh,
are we bringing
oh,
furries
rat
into
folk.
this?
No, it's not a furry.
No,
it's a
I kind
rat
of
folk.
see it like a orc.
Orc.
Like just the national creatures orc.
For
That's
Man,
rude. That's
we about to give you a
discriminatory against
bacchiotomy.
orcs.
Stop leaning into the
It's
shot. there.
discriminatory against orcs.
That's so rude.
Orcs symbolize it.
Orcs are good boys.
All right, our listeners getting
It's demonic,
getting all that ridiculousness off. Viewers getting a good shot at Derek's shoulder. Yeah, watch that. All right, we're about to jump right into it because I'm gonna kick it over to Mix Macabre,
Yes.
who actually got to check out something very near and dear to all of us:
No,
cutesy puzzle platformers. Because
that's fair. I do
remember-
love them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, lay it on us, because Lightfall is the
Right.
one you got to beat.
So I played it on Steam. I know it's available for pretty much everything. So at its very core, it's just a puzzle platform game where you're just jumping around, and that's kind of all there is going on with it. It does have the added element of some really exceptional voice acting. There's this owl that's kind of like your, I don't know, kind of the narrator / your sidekick in a way. Almost like your little Navi, but instead of going "hey" all the time, he's more like Virgil and Mighty Max, where he's like a little bit salty. But yeah, so it's you can kind of hear him going on a little bit in the background right now. But the game itself, the gameplay is really, really straightforward. It is just a platform jumper puzzle game. The puzzles are mostly like, how do I get past this obstacle? Well, you got to jump. And part of that is you can summon these cubes. You can summon up to 4 cubes can be in play at any given moment. And the cubes can help you either leap a further distance, or they can block if there's an enemy shooting at you, or if there's something in your way, or if you need to, make... there's a couple times where you have to like hit a target. It's really cute gameplay. My only thing with it is it's very repetitive. I played it a solid hour, and at that point it just got a little too repetitive to continue.
Wait,
there wasn't much
that's
going
a long
on.
time though, just to restart that cycle.
No, well, what I mean is like it didn't restart, but just there's nothing new. Like I thought, okay, now moving on, another level, and it's just more of the same style of gameplay.
Oh, okay.
Everything's it's very beautiful. I really enjoyed the artwork. I think that the character design is adorable. You're basically part of this world that is always in darkness, and your little community is at risk, and it's just super, super cute. But again, there's just not much meat to it. If an hour into the game, I'm still feeling like, all right, well, this is visually appealing to me, but all I'm really doing is like, okay, I made a block, and then I jumped over this thing. Okay, now I'm running up a ledge, you know.
Oh, damn, it sounds all blasé. I thought you had fun.
At any point, the powers of the block like adjust, so it makes it a little bit more difficult, or you just stuck with the
same thing the whole time. Wow. That's the thing. There was nothing really that changed. You don't gain any powers. You don't. It's just this really straightforward platform.
But when does the light fall?
Well, the light has already fallen. That's the whole thing. The world has already plunged into darkness, and now it's kind of like the gods are missing. It's very weird. But it's everywhere. My frustration with the game is really just the fact that it is so cute, and it has a.
Wait, how are you frustrated with cuteness?
No, because it has it has an interesting plot at the outset, and it has such cute graphics to me that like I really wanted it to be better than it is. Where I would say that it's just kind of mediocre. It looks beautiful, and again, the voice acting is quite good.
Yeah, tell me about that because I didn't get any of that from
the owl guy is like a narrator, and every now and then he kind of chimes in with like, here's some backstory on what's going on. No, pretty much. That's pretty much exactly what it is. And
I was doing a bad Patrick Stewart.
That's so owl.
Wait. Was the owl Patrick Stewart?
No, but it's somebody who might have been trying to be Patrick Stewart, maybe a little more gruff.
Lightfall creature, engage.
That's what kind of frustrated me is that I'm like, oh, all these elements are so cool, but then kind of nothing happens. Damn. And I don't know if it's just one of those, like, I didn't play it long enough, but if I'm an hour in and I'm not super engaged by then, I feel like it's not going to grab me. And
that's fair.
Yeah.
An hour is a good time, you know what
I mean? And again, it's not a bad game. If you enjoy this sort of puzzle game where it's like, all right, I got to get really, really high up, but I only get 4 boxes. How do I make that work? Like, it's that's
like a simple fix. Like, hey, but down the road, you get a power up and the box gives you a spring option. Like,
no power ups, no bosses. There are no bosses
of
any kind. No, there's no bosses of any kind. There's no like, all right, I'm at the end of the level and I got to defeat something. No, it's just
platforms. So there's no cutscene.
No.
Designating, hey, like, you know, oh wow, that sucks.
You just get this owl guy like narrating sometimes. Yeah, that's how it felt.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I'm bummed out by it.
Looks
I'm
so
like,
good.
Wow, this is so great. Exactly. This really looks like a cool and innovative game that I'm hyped to play. And it just ended up being a little bit on the mediocre side. That being said,
cost of this?
I do not know offhand. What is the cost of it?
So the game costs $14.99, so $15 across all the platforms. And by all the platforms, what I mean is the Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows and Macintosh.
For $15, I'd say that if this is your jam and you enjoy that kind of jumpy puzzle game, you will enjoy this game. It is a cute game, again, and it is an engaging game. I just don't feel like it has a lot of replay value.
What level did you leave off at?
I don't know. That's the other thing. They all kind of blur together. There's not like a distinct mark of like, okay, you've hit this level. There's almost like save points in a sense that you hit certain targets and they act as save points, but it all just feels like one continuous game.
Okay. That's kind of unfortunate. Official call. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I want to give it a thumbs up in the sense of there's nothing inherently terrible about this game. And if you are someone that enjoys the platform jumper genre, especially with the mild puzzle aspect, you will enjoy this game. But I emphasize the puzzle aspect of it is quite mild. There was nothing that was particularly difficult to overcome. And it just feels like it's a gentle, soothing puzzle runner. So it's a good game if you want to chill and kind of listen to some lo-fi puzzle game beats to study to or whatever the kids are saying. But
it's a good game to sleep to.
Yeah, it's adorable and I recommend it. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, run out and buy it because it's the best game of the year. It's okay.
You heard it right here. Mix Macabre says, trample your neighbors. You're not to get it first.
A good game to sleep to. That's a great game.
Right? Well, that's the thing. It is genuinely like a soothing game. It has that feeling. It almost reminds me of many years ago there was a game on PlayStation called Rez.
Wait. Continue the story, but...
So Rez was a game that was almost similar in the sense that it had a lot of like soothing colors and shapes. It was one of the first games that used like the rumble pack that was like innovative at the time. I mean, we're talking a gajillion years ago.
Rumble Pack is what made your controller shake, kids.
They still have
Way
a
back.
Rumble Pack.
It was an addition.
They still have that.
Well, now it's like built in.
yeah,
It's
that's
not a
true. This
special
was when
pack.
there was like you had to buy the Rumble Pack
You had to
put it
buy
on.
a separate
Yeah,
attachment to
but
make your
this
controller
had very
shake.
similar vibes to me to Res in the sense of it's very soothing light. The background is all darkness, and then there's beautiful colors that pop. But it also had the same level of engagement for me. Where like, okay, I've already done it. Does anything new happen? No.
Okay. Dang. That kind of brings me down because this looked super fun.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to give it a thumbs up for what it is. It's a good representation, but it is not some sort of exceptional or groundbreaking game.
All right. Well, that's unfortunate.
It
I'm
almost
sorry I
feels
subjected you to
unfinished.
this.
It almost feels like they're not done. I'm wondering if there's going to be updates to this game that will expand the lore and expand perhaps again. What it really lacks to me is bosses and mini bosses. I feel like that's what this game really needs.
So a change up of the gameplay, and also it sounds like the pacing is just a little bit too slow.
Yeah,
to,
just
to
nothing
get
really
interesting.
happens.
All right, Lightfall. Well, on that note, I'm gonna kick it over to Mix,
Mhm.
to myself,
Mhm.
to Rick,
You?
to schizophrenic Rick over there.
Yeah.
Because, dude, we all got to check out. Don't be all banal about this. We got to check out Batman Ninja, and I want to hear your opinions because, dude, I was so excited to check this out. I love Batman. I love ninjas. I love anime. All these things got me amped, pumped. You see,
All in one burrito.
I'm saying, right? Yeah. So we're talking about Batman Ninja, the new anime that just came out on Netflix, and I got to check this out. I was excited. I was waiting for this for weeks, for months, I
Weeks?
think.
Weeks,
Well,
wow.
I saw the trailer a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that trailer
and-
came out like 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was been fiending hotcakes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
was
like,
real excited for this too.
what's your interpretation?
Well, my first thing I want to discuss before we even talk about it is the fact that it is available in English and Japanese.
Yes.
And unlike a lot of times where things are like mostly the same and maybe the dub's not that great, they are literally two separate films. So I just want to address that literally the plot, dialogue, they are completely different films. And this came about because the Japanese work was done with kind of all of it being created visually, and then the dialogue kind of being added as a secondary aspect to it.
Yeah, I read up on that.
Yeah.
It's like a manga style.
Yes, exactly. And so the English one is much more of like Batman action adventure. So they're two very, very different stories. So when we discuss it, I just want to make that distinction for our listeners and viewers that talking about Batman Ninja in Japanese and Batman Ninja in English are just night and day, totally different.
Disclaimer. All right, so Batman Ninjas is the story of Batman, as we expect, run-of-the-mill Batman chasing after villains, but Gorilla Grodd, who's not primarily a Batman villain.
Yeah, that was awkward.
I love it.
No, it was a smart choice. Like it had
I'm
to
here
fit,
for
but
it.
It was interesting, and I'm glad it
like,
was
out of all
Gorilla Grodd.
the
not
rogues
like-
gallery to pick out of him, like really, that was interesting.
He doesn't get enough screen time, and I love
True.
that.
He's more of a Flash villain, I always thought.
Yeah, he's not a
Yeah.
major Batman villain.
Yeah. But it was interesting to see them throw a curveball like that. But then again, you get the standard Batman's Rogues Gallery. They're still there. They just weren't the front runners for at least that portion of it, which was a nice take. And then Gorilla Grodd is doing a thing with the contraption. He's managed to call all like Batman's normal villains to Arkham Asylum. What I want to know is why are these cats always rushing back to the place that they're being imprisoned in? Like branch out, take a vacation, see the world.
Joker sometimes hangs out at an abandoned candy factory. And
Well, yeah, but he's got a sickness.
Penguin likes that zoo.
Yeah, like
You
they all have
know.
their own little desert.
They got their own
spots.
hidey ho.
Man, they all got problems, but they got.
Arkham Asylum's like that neutral ground where they can all just come together
Yeah,
and
that's
share
fair.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Nothing neutral about it. You know what Arkham Asylum is?
chill.
Imagine if your parents had like a set place, they would beat you every time you messed up as a kid.
Yeah, but you're not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway,
that's
so-
what you think. All right, so Gorilla Grodd lures all these cats there.
They
And
send him
then-
back in time. The end.
Okay, please don't do that.
I'm kidding.
So essentially what happens is smart-ass Gorilla Grodd creates a time machine to control time and space because he wants to control everything. That's his character. And he sends everybody back to, I want to say, circa 1300 feudal Japan.
Now, what I want to know is there's really no explanation as to why they start off in Arkham in Gotham and then they get taken back to Japan specifically.
See, they never did explain
They
that,
never
and that
explained
even
it.
in the beginning of the because I only saw half of the Japanese version. They didn't explain that either. I thought
No,
they were
there's
going to
no,
explain that.
no explanation.
Yeah, that was a really
whatsoever.
random thing, but I mean, I get the idea. You just need
That's
a
most
crux.
animes.
You just need a reason, just some specific plot device to get them there, and then you set the entire story in feudal Japan. So the hero, Batman, and the villains are sent back to feudal Japan.
Well,
For some reason, Batman gets transferred back
Gro-
2 years
Grodd
after.
does say that he wanted, in the Japanese version, Grodd says that he wanted to send them long ago and far away.
Mhm.
So he does specifically mention that he wanted to send them to a different place.
Okay, that's one of the main problems that I found with
Yeah.
this. Now, mind you, I didn't hate this, but I didn't love it because the English version is
Totally
very
different.
incoherent, and I've come to find out why.
Yeah.
Because it was originally done for the Japanese version, and that, as you're saying, is very different.
Yeah, and
American production style for animation too is a lot different. There was something I read where they said they had
Yep.
issues with it and they just had to adjust it, so they decided. To
Yeah,
make it
these cats
separate.
openly admitted to BSing their way through the script. Those first
Yep.
drafts were like, we got a bunch
They
of
were-
images,
yep.
we didn't know what kind of story to put with it.
they
so
didn't
we
know
just,
who was talking when. They were like, we don't know if this is Red Robin. We
Yeah.
don't know if this is Robin. We don't know if this is any particular
I
character.
kind of got to respect that. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
they just said, you know what, F it, we just gonna tell you, we had no idea, we made it up as we went along, and we just kind of worked out to this. And for something that was completely improvised, they did a decent job. If this was like planned out, like there was actual like conscious thought behind it, then yeah, forget you, because it is, like I said, completely. I almost said bat.
Though I'll
It's
admit though, the rendition of the Joker was probably one of my
Yeah.
favorite
Es-
of all time.
Especially in Japanese, Joker was exceptional.
I
That's
mean,
surprising.
really
I
exceptional.
like different versions of the Joker. This one is one of my least.
Well, in
really?
English,
Yeah.
well, here's the difference though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In Japanese, he was like a pretty cool calculating villain in this, and it was really cool because he really like was trying to like do like, all right, I'm gonna be the shogun. I'm gonna be this like lord of this area.
Okay, that
And
makes you
in-
go cross-eyed. English, he
in
was
English,
he was
exactly.
a dainty fop.
And in English, he also was using a lot of dumb catchphrases.
Mhm.
Like there's a fight where Batman is in the Batmobile because of course that went back in time, obviously. So he's in the Batmobile
That was
and
great.
Joker.
The Batwing.
Well, an aspect that we haven't touched upon and made this actually interesting is one of the problems that the villains are changing the timeline by introducing kind of modern tech to the society. So you end up with a kind of steampunk flair. So
Yeah.
one of the things that Joker does is he makes his palace, if you will, into a mech. Like it has arms and it throws things. So a perfect example of the difference here is in the English version, Joker is doing like a whole swing batter chant, making a lot of baseball puns and like throwing
Yeah, you know who he
different
was?
stars.
He was the anime-ized version of the Cesar Romero Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so. That's a perfect way to put it. But in Japanese, even his voice was first of all, way deeper. And second of all, he was menacing. And that's what I think
Okay.
is lost in the English version. Like, another thing that happens in it, there's like a Bane cameo that's excellent. I thought it was really, really fun and really well done. In the English version, oh my God,
Yeah,
it's
forget that
just
dude.
so
That was-
stupid.
It was random.
Yeah,
Like,
whereas in
really?
the
Like-
Japanese version, he's summoned. It makes perfect sense. You're like, okay, here's the muscle to come crush you, and it makes perfect sense. And that's what I think is a big drawback with this movie, having these two extremely disparate versions. The Japanese one really relies on you knowing the samurai movie genre. There's some
Yeah.
great Kurosawa shout outs. It was really, I think, innovatively done. Some of the artwork is just absolutely stunning. But then you have the English version. It's like, I don't know what's happening.
Well, I will say the artwork in the English version, it still came through because there was no way for them to specifically mess that up.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same visuals.
Yeah. And the story, they did try. Knowing the backstory now, I like it more than I did while
Yeah.
watching. While watching, I'm like, what the F is
Knowing
this?
it's not intentional in what they wanted. Yeah, definitely. helps.
Okay, but we've talked a lot about the differences. Can you give us the rundown of what's the story in the Japanese version? Okay, Rick, can you give us the story in the Japanese
I only
version?
saw- I only saw half
trust
of it.
Mix to give
Well,
us-
saw
okay,
half of it.
I'm laughing because it's not meant to be this major coherent story. It's meant to be evocative visuals and a
Yeah.
love letter to samurai movies. So the plot of the Japanese one is all of the major Gotham villains. You have Penguin, you have Poison Ivy, you have Two-Face. Two-Face is working for Joker. You have all these major villains. They all have different areas of Japan. This is when Japan was in different regions. They were not unified. And so each one is trying to take over more territory, and Joker is kind of winning at this to unify Japan under their banner so that they can be the ultimate shogun. And so it really strongly
Joker's
follows
the Fire Nation.
a
All about
traditional
that.
plot of a samurai era film. And so you have the Ronin of the Bat Clan, which are an ancient clan that has
That's where
this
I got hokey.
that have this destiny of serving Batman, essentially. And using the word hokey, I think, is great because, again, this is relying extremely heavily on Japanese movie tropes. And that's why I feel it does not translate well to the American version, because you need that almost suspension of disbelief of like watching this and being like, wait, what? There's like a bat themed clan that a prophecy told them that they would be here at this moment to serve Batman. But like if you're watching, I've seen dozens and dozens of samurai and shogun era films, like that type of movie, like, yeah, some dude's theme is horses, and then like the horse clan rides in at just the right moment and be like, we're here to serve you, my lord. Like that's exactly what happens.
All right, so I can definitely see how there would be differences, and the interpretation in the Japanese version is one I would like to see because I'm a big fan of that stuff too. And I was kind of hoping when I first saw the advertisements for Batman Ninja, and I got to say it like that because Batman.
Well, you
Ninja.
have to, obviously.
Yeah, Batman Ninja. I got to check it out. It was cool.
Well, you just kind of summed up also the exact differences between English and Japanese voice acting of the Joker there. So
Yeah, the Joker.
That's what it sounded like. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was one of my biggest complaints about the Joker, man. He had that voice.
Woof.
It was great though.
I don't know. They reincarnated Charles.
It was very
Riley.
Kefka. It was very Kefka from Final Fantasy, if anyone knows what I'm talking
No
about.
spoilers, please.
No spoilers for
That's
Kefka.
not bad.
I still
That
haven't
was a
played
good-
it.
I can
Wait,
see
what?
it.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
Kefka's the best guy.
I know.
I'm
It's
so
on my
upset.
to-do list. I'll get it.
Oh, brother.
Oh, he's
I
such
gave
a
up
good
on the Final
clown
Fantasy
boy.
series a long time ago. All right, so Rick, you've been a little quiet about your own opinions there, though. I want to know what you thought of this because you got
If you want my opinion, the American version was all over the place. They tried to fit too much Batman lore and respect the genre of what Batman is, and simultaneously add a bunch of Japanese flair trope that if you don't watch or aren't familiar with Japanese culture, anime, etc., you're going to be all over the place and you're going to think this movie's horrible. For me, I thought it was great. I thought the action scenes were well done. The art was fantastic. Though when they shifted over into the Red Hood portion of that story, where the art got really like watercolorish and like gradient, it was gorgeous, and I loved that portion of that whole movie.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it 2 thumbs up because I enjoyed the action. I love watching Batman in different art styles. I like everybody's rendition of what Batman should be. Plus, they address the fact that Batman's been getting too techie over the years.
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was a cop out.
No, that was great, man, because I enjoyed, because then he went on Ninja Assassin at the end and it was great.
Yeah,
so it was like totally worth that watch, to be very honest with you.
All right, that last fight was supremely hyped up, and I feel like if I hadn't been so soured on it by the time it got to that point,
Yeah.
I would have been really into it.
It's another one that I hate being that person that's like, well, the Japanese version was better, but
Yeah.
it made more sense in the Japanese version. The main fight toward the end made, and this is not a spoiler. Oh, Batman fights the Joker. We're all shocked, but
I'm gasp,
I know, right?
clutching my.
But
So
it-
tell me
just
this:
made
in the,
so
in
much
the
more
Japanese
sense.
version, did he have more interaction with like the secondary characters like Deathstroke and all the other guys? Or was
No,
this
that's
the same way?
thing. No, because they're.
Because I would have loved to
underlings.
see like a Deathstroke little bat fight.
Well, that's
team,
the thing.
And they
Like,
separated
there's-
them
there's
amongst
no,
the bat gallery.
There's no differences in visuals between the two versions.
So
The
it's just
difference is all
just different dialogue.
completely different dialogue. Like Gorilla Grodd's character also is very, very different between the two.
What would you give for a thumbs up or down?
I give it. Well, here's the thing. I want to give the Japanese version 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up, but I have to thumbs down the English version because it's just very disjointed and ultimately hollow. Like I'm watching this movie, I love Batman stuff. Justice League Dark, which came out last year, is absolutely my favorite Batman related media at this point, and I thought it was wonderful. and this just felt really like a overblown episode of like they're trying to make a good episode of like the animated series, but they try to stretch it out too much. It just, again, as was kind of
it's
discussed.
funny you say that because I just hate how they always have to include Batman and everything DC related touch just to get like the lore and like I think
Batman
Justice League
Batman
Dark could have
didn't
been
need to be there.
carried
Yeah.
by themselves.
John
Like, they're a
Constantine
great
can carry
set.
that himself.
You
Yeah,
know what
I
mean?
agree.
So-
Batman didn't need to
and
be
that's
there.
another thing. It's like I just feel like they finally decided to just get like let's like more money off Batman's name and throw him into the anime arena and let's see what we can do with this.
Yeah, but cats want
You know
that.
what I mean?
They got to try to market to the mass audience, and Batman's got that juice.
But
I don't know.
I feel that in
like the
Japanese
Batman
this
juice
is
is
great.
dying down. Like look what's happening with the movie
Because
for
they've
Warner
oversaturated
Brothers.
it. Like you said, Batman's and everything.
Well, it's also
You
just
know?
because they're bad. They're just bad movies. If they were good movies, people would be like,
No,
oh,
you didn't
give
like
me more
the
Batman.
so you didn't
like
like the
Batman Ninja? I loved it.
So you didn't like Son of Batman.
No, I'm talking about
those
the.
are pretty good.
I'm talking about the live action movies.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm not talking about those.
Hey man,
That's the thing. This is what, and I brought this up also going back to Justice League Dark. DC has been killing it on their animated
Yeah.
movies. Absolutely killing
Back
it.
to
Their
back.
animated
Yeah,
movies are
I'm saying Batman
fantastic.
Ninja blew my mind.
And then,
And they're starting to get a little bit more visceral. Like,
yeah, they're
like
really.
aggressive. Like I wouldn't let my kid just watch any one of them. Like,
No, you
that
have to
one
watch
you
out.
might-
Not all of them are for kids.
that one you need to back up on.
All right, so Sophie's choice: proper thumbs up or thumbs down. Only one for Batman Ninja.
We'll do. That's why I was saying it's hard because I want to separate
That's
the
what. Yeah,
versions.
that's your challenge.
Well,
So
I'll give it a-
I'll
I'll-
take the challenge and I'm gonna watch the rest of the Japanese version, so I'll most likely give it a thumbs up from what she's saying. But I'll give the American version a thumbs up too. Some people just aren't into the Japanese version, so like this is their way of getting
Well,
that.
that's why,
that fix.
I have to give it a thumbs down then because the English version is just—it's not
Yeah.
a good film. It's just not a good film. It's really drags on. At
Don't
some
fall
points.
asleep because
Yeah.
when you wake up,
It's
you will
not
swear
great.
to God you're watching a different movie.
Yeah, it's just not a great film.
All right, and I myself, unfortunately, I do have to give it a thumbs down too. I was very excited for this. I was really trying to give it a solid chance, but the story itself was just too incoherent, and it killed the enjoyment of what I thought were beautiful visuals and what could have been a really interesting story. Knowing that there was another story behind the images that I was seeing, that really lets me know that yes, this could have lived up to what it promised, but. I don't know. It's a difficult situation when you have that like cross-cultural thing where they just can't make ends meet. Even when they got the final drafts of the script,
So hold on,
for the Japanese version to
before you move
translate.
on,
Yeah.
Remember those X-Men animes that came out
Yeah.
briefly? Do you think that it could have, if it was presented as such, it could have been a little bit better?
Yes, agree.
You think
Yes.
so?
I don't
That's
know.
what I was hoping
I
from it.
think
Like I was
this
hoping they
wasn't
could have did
marketed
something
right.
like that. So
This was basically, it was neither an anime nor a Western animation, and I think what happened was it kind of failed on both sides.
I think the story just kind of killed it, which is unfortunate. I hate to like beat a dead horse, but I got to give it a thumbs down.
It was beautiful, and again, check it out, especially if you want like the Japanese one. Just if you purchase it on Amazon or if you rent it on Amazon, the way that works is it will screen the English version first and then the Japanese version. So
So
you
you
just
got to
need
sit through it.
We just have to skip forward if you're looking for the Japanese version. I believe on the Blu-ray DVD, though, you can obviously just select it.
All right. So that was Batman Ninja. It's available now if you want to check it out and you want to do it to yourself. Go right ahead.
Watch it in Japanese, especially if you like the Kurosawa Shogun-style films. You will probably enjoy it, if not just for the references.
I can't do it. Hate to read.
Uh,
All right. Kicking it over to my man, Just Johnny.
Yep.
Been waiting there with a zen-like patience.
Oh.
He's got to bring back the wizard voice. He's been waiting.
I'll let you do the wizard voice there, sir.
So I reviewed a game called Wizard of Legend.
Okay, stop it. It's racist.
Against wizards?
Trying
As
to
a-
figure
as a-
out where it was
Look,
racist.
I have many wizard friends, so I think it sounds great.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Enabler.
Ah!
Thought you were an ally. What's going on, Mix? I got some emails to send
I
tonight.
sometimes dress up as a wizard, So
Oh, come on now.
I can
Appropriation as
speak
well?
for...
That's just. Where does it stop?
I just want the
So-
wizard beard.
so-
Like I've always wanted to just grab my beard. It's like,
You're,
hey,
you're getting there. You got the gray going on.
yeah,
What
the
you need
white's
to do.
coming, brother.
Yeah.
I can't wait till it's full blown so I can start shooting light and bolt at people.
Stop bathing. Get you one of them sticks.
So Wizard of Legend, it's a
Wizard.
game that just came out on Nintendo Switch, Steam, PS4, Xbox One. good old games and and Humble Bundle, and this is a Humble Bundle published title, and it was also a Kickstarter game,
Oh, no.
and it actually released, and it's
Did you
actually
give to the Kickstarter?
I did not give to the Kickstarter.
Oh,
I did
you gotta
not.
support business, Johnny.
I actually wasn't aware of this until the PAX email media tie-in stuff sort of notified me. I took a look at the video. The trailers for this game looked very interesting. It was like a very fast-paced Twitch, almost like a top-down. It's more so isometric twin stick shooter, except you are playing as a wizard. Now it looks like that. It's not a twin stick shooter. What it is more of, and even though I'm going to say The Binding of Isaac, which is a twin stick shooter, it's
Sound
not.
it out.
You don't use the second
Take
stick.
your
You don't use the second stick, but you are worrying about dodging enemy attacks. You are playing through these randomly generated levels. So other than the aiming part of Binding of Isaac, this is basically Harry Potter meets The Binding of Isaac through and through.
Damn.
110%. It's a little bit shorter than The Binding of Isaac. It is at times more difficult and a little bit more challenging. So if people who aren't familiar with The Binding of Isaac, this game has you starting off as just I guess like a high schooler or middle schooler, and you're going through a museum. It's like this national holiday, and you're visiting this museum. And this museum, apparently in this world that you're in, there used to be wizards as part of your history. And you're going through this museum that's sort of showcasing the history of wizards from way back when, and the one legendary wizard from way back when. You're sort of going through
Gandalf the Grey. It was Gandalf.
and you're handed these, I guess, technological fake holographic spells that you can sort of toy around with, and you're sort of given like these little mini challenges as you're going through the museum, sort of like exhibits.
So like handheld spark.
Yeah.
It's really just you with a gun.
Toned down, like you can't harm any of the other visitors that are there or anything like that. You're shooting fire all over the place, but no one gets hurt.
I can do magic too. Check it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
I know, right?
Wow.
And that is the
You get
tutorial.
noses everywhere.
And that is the tutorial system to this world, and it actually establishes a really nice part of sort of the world mythos and what this game is about. And then a portal opens up because you touch something that you weren't supposed to touch that was behind glass casing type of thing. It's very tropey, but it was a very nice setup for what then happens is you get teleported to way back in time to when wizards actually were prevalent, and you're going through these trials in order to become a wizard of legend, and you're being tested by the 3 champion wizards and eventually the Grand Master Wizard at the very end. And
A whole lot of wizardry.
yes, yeah, it's all about wizards and spells. And as you're going through these trials, it's essentially...
What about tribulations? Do you go through tribulations as well?
Tribulations, I guess, could be the boss fights.
Okay. All right.
And it's basically 2 randomly generated dungeon-like levels, followed by a boss fight, and then you repeat that for the first 3 bosses, and then after the final boss, after the 3rd boss, there's a immediate final boss encounter, and once you do all that, you beat the game. And
Wait, so you beat this son?
I beat this game, yes,
All right.
through lots and lots of frustration, because man, this game is hard for very bad reasons, but it's also there's a lot of complaints I have with this game, but there's also a lot of good things that they actually did with this game. They did a good job with the combat. It's very fast, it's very fluid. There's a dodge mechanic that does not work exactly how you want it to or expect it to.
Like most dodges, that's why you gotta buy Japanese.
Yeah, but it does work, and a problem with this is that you can move around in these very tightly confined rooms, and part of the limitation of the tightness of the room that sort of forces you to focus on
your positioning compared to the enemy's positioning so that you're not getting hit by their blasts, their magic spells, or their regular sword attacks or whatever. But also there are pits in some of these rooms. There will be pits and other types of traps, floor traps. So if you're dodging, you have to dodge smartly and dodge in the right locations in order to not only avoid the enemy attacks, but also avoid the environmental sort of layout of the rooms that you're in. So you're exploring through this labyrinth-like maze, and you are avoiding these traps. You're finding these treasure chests. You're fighting each of the enemies that are throughout it. And then once you find 3 key NPCs, you open up these portals for the end of the level, which then results in a mini boss battle. And then once you beat that mini boss battle, you move on to the next level and the next set of dungeon-like challenge. And that's can we a little bit more to the right? There we go. That's good. All right. We're good. Thumbs up.
Set up
Yeah.
the dungeon challenge you were saying.
Yeah. So, and it's, as I said, it's fast paced. You're throwing spells out there, but it kind of also.
Now, are these upgrades that you were keeping? Because it looks like you'll get an upgrade. Is it a temporary boost? You're in the ice level and you get a fire boost, and this is like a temporary run, and then, or is it something that you maintain and carry through level to level to level?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. So there's 2 different currencies that are in this. There's the crystals, and then there's the gold. The gold is what you are going to use and spend and sort of level yourself up as you're going through a run. So the dungeon NPCs, you can spend your gold at their shops or whatever it is that they have available. There's different kinds of NPCs that offer different kinds of enhancements, dehancements, etc. And you spend your gold there, but if you die, your gold doesn't carry over. However, as you defeat enemies, you get crystals, and your crystals become the persistent currency. So if you wipe at the end of on your run, and just before you start the next run, you're kind of going through this fair-like courtyard area, and you're visiting those types of NPCs to help give you permanent unlocks. Now, there's no level up system to this, so there is no true RPG mechanics in this. You can only equip so there's 3 different things that you can equip. You can equip spells, which is basically sort of like your combat loadout. Yeah. And I'll get into very quickly in a little bit. You can equip relics, but you can buy and unlock a whole bunch of relics, and you can sort of socket them out. That's like your passive ability. However, you can only select one at the start of a run, and you'll get more throughout the run.
So there's strategy to it. Okay, good.
There is, and then you can get a cloak. A wizard cloak, and the cloak itself has its own set of passes, and that sort of has more of an effect on your play style as well as the relics, but the cloaks will give you like more defense and faster run speed, or higher chance to crit and higher crit damage. Different cloaks will give you different benefits.
Like the run and gun guy, because that's going to help out.
I was the higher chance to crit, along with higher evasion. So I got the defense and the crit, not for the damage, but I got the crit because I found this nice little exploit where you get the vampire glasses, and every time you crit, you steal a little bit, you get a little bit of life gain. So I wanted to crit as often as possible so that I'd regain health because this game is very challenging, and there's no way to increase your health in a very in an easy way. There's no like cooldown thing that you can activate every now and then. So you have to like really rely on and fine tune your loadout and really understand the mechanics of the game. So you have to play this over and over and over again. And it can be really frustrating for the first, 3 hours of playing this, where you're not making any progress and you're unlocking things and you're really just testing things out. And then once you figure out which particular spells, and there are some spells that are absolute garbage in this game, and then there are other spells that are like so crazy broken because they will stun enemies for seconds on end, leaving you like unable to take any harm. And
okay, what's
things
the
like
best
that.
one?
The best one, my opinion, is the creeping water or creeping mist or whatever it's called. It's basically like this creeping tendril. I think you sort of like melee uppercut someone with water. That water turns into like kind of like the abyss. You know that little water tendril from the abyss?
Yeah.
Like a water bender.
Yeah, it bends around the enemy that you hit, and then it starts to twirl around that enemy, and if another enemy gets hit by that twirling water tendril, it then latches onto and ropes around them and stuns
Right.
them,
Oh, that's
and then
sadistic. I
repeats
love
the
it.
same process.
Now you said like there were some broken powers. I'm assuming this is one of the broken ones.
This is one of the broken ones. Yeah.
Seems pretty broken.
So it sounds dope though. It's just like, I got you and I got your boy.
And
Wait,
and then the next one, and then the
continues
next
on?
one. Yeah, it'll
Yes.
keep on going.
And your boy's
So-
mama too.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. What you got your kids? I got them now.
So I mean, there are really cool spells, and really those are the parts of the combat that are really fun. Is playing around, figuring out which loadouts are ideal. But once again, there's also ones that are like absolute garbage, and you kind of feel
Like
like
the
you're not
toast
making.
A spell.
Yeah,
Or the I tied your shoelaces together spell.
yeah. There's one where you make enemies sort of fall in love with you. You
Nice.
charm them. That one's kind of useful, but it's like so hard to land, and it's not
Stage
fully
5 Klinger
reliable.
spell.
I feel like that one's a little too realistic.
So the combat, it's really good, except for areas where there's missing polish, and that's my biggest
That'd be-
pet peeve with this game. Is just there's a laundry list of like polish elements that or lack of polish throughout this game. There's a lot of things that could be.
Well, we're looking at it now.
Yeah. So dodging, for one, you can run against the ledge of a pit and not fall. But the moment you dodge, if you don't dodge correctly, you will fall into that pit. Now that would be fine and dandy, except some of the pits that you have to dodge across are not exact, and you don't control the length of your dodge either. And there's a relic pickup that you can get that extends your
Oh,
dodge.
you just got an upgrade.
And it kind of ruins things. Now, another thing about the combat that you see here is that blue meter underneath the health bar. That blue meter builds up as you're attacking enemies, but if you're not attacking anyone, that meter starts to deplete. So it's so hard to build up that meter because there's never a constant flow of enemies near you, because you're wiping out a room and you're never going to build. It's super hard to build up that meter within a single room of enemies. And you're trying to sort of run quickly to the next group of enemies, but you don't know where they are because this level is randomly generated. You don't know where the next group is, and then by the time you get to them, that meter depletes. So you're like hardly activating your special blue bar for those types of spells. So that's another pet peeve I have. And then also, just the combat is just what it really boils down to is just cooldown management. You're managing your cooldowns. You're just unloading all your cooldowns that you can on a group of enemies, and then spending the remainder of your time dodging their attacks until your cooldowns are active again. So when you finally understand what this game is about, it becomes kind of trivial and kind of easy, other than the unpolished bits still make it hard. Overall, though, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. It's $16. I believe. Let me just check real quick.
You kind of weren't fooling anybody. It's like, and I did this, and I did this, and you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this. But
you said it was like a
this one
mix
thing
between
was
Harry
bad.
Potter and
Binding of Isaac.
Binding
Yes.
of Isaac. I just want to know, was it Dark Harry Potter or the
No,
hokey little-
this is like the Philosopher's Stone, the very first one.
okay.
Yeah, it's
Very
very
childish.
lighthearted. It's kid friendly.
never-ending
Absolutely.
stories.
Big
Yeah.
teeth, bushy
Yeah.
hair, you know.
But that's also a little misleading because of
Bushy
how
hair.
difficult this is. Like, it's kid friendly in presentation and everything, except the difficulty is not kids friendly. Like, this will challenge a hardcore gamer. This is definitely a game for a hardcore gamer, but for a non-hardcore gamer, like, they might be misled.
They can suck it.
Yeah.
All
Overall,
right,
though, thumbs up. It's $16. It's available on all the major platforms: Steam, Nintendo Switch. I played and reviewed it on Nintendo Switch. I was
Steam,
given a review
Engage,
code for
Sega
this.
Saturn,
PS4,
CDI,
Xbox One.
Neo Geo. All right, thanks, Johnny.
Yep.
All right, the game is called Wizard of Legend.
Wizard of Legend.
Oh no, don't say
Yes.
that. All right, now, dude, I am going to go into Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Who's coming with me?
Hi.
Who's coming with me?
Hello.
Is that you?
Spoiler free as possible.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So the very understated Mix Macabre, whose energy is just
Rip Warren.
yes. Yeah, okay. So give us the rundown on Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2. I'm trying to think of really non-spoilery ways to say this. Cable's in it.
Yeah.
And a bunch of stuff goes down. where Deadpool has to protect a mutant teen, and this teen is a rambunctious youth who Cable wants to kill. And Deadpool's like, no, I gotta save this kid. And that's a very kernel basic overall premise, I'd say.
And I like how you
That's
delivered
the-
the flair.
That's the meat of it, if you will.
All right. Deadpool 2, Ryan Reynolds is bringing us back to the world of the Merc with a Mouth in the sequel to, was it 2017? 2016?
2016.
2016.
In the franchise where they're allowed to say mutants.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Which is great.
Oh,
That's always nice.
I'm waiting for them to infiltrate the Avengers somehow.
It'll happen someday, but yeah, this had a lot of good goofs. Had some heart to it, more heart than expected, actually.
I was surprised.
Made
yeah.
some. I will not comment on the specifics because they're very spoilery, but made some interesting choices that mirrored things that are major plots from the comics in ways that were very different,
Good.
but still mirrored major plot points from the comics, and I was really into that. I thought it was done very well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
references left and right.
Well, not just references, like there are characters that were avatars for other characters that are major Deadpool important ones. And yeah, I want to speak really quick to, there's been a lot of fanfare about, queer character representation. It's two chicks holding hands.
Oh man, they are progressive.
I'm so mad about this, guys. It's Deadpool. Come on. I mean, there's some cheeky stuff in there. Don't get me wrong. Again, right at the end, there's actually a line that I really appreciated that I will not say because it's spoilers, but it's a little bit of a wink, wink nod to Deadpool's pansexuality. But overall, there wasn't any real queer representation. I'm tired of these kernels and nuggets being given to me.
You heard it here first. Deadpool is anti-queer.
Yes,
LGBT.
that's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
Anti-LGBT.
Actually, one of the running gags that I thought was really funny, and this is not a spoiler because it's super minor. Deadpool keeps framing things that Cable says to make him sound racist, and it is hilarious.
Yeah, I dug that particular running gag myself. And I will call out Cable as well, dude. The
So
performance
good.
of Josh
oh
Brolin.
my god, good.
I was skeptical. Were you?
I came into it thinking like, all right, he's coming over. We just saw him as Thanos, we just saw him all CGI'd up. Here he is all CGI'd up again. He was so good. I mean,
had
I
chops.
really think that he was, again, obviously, like, as a lot of us are, coming out of the 90s X-Men stuff, loving that TV show, I really think that the casting in this movie, Domino, everybody's so great.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic casting.
Also, the costume design. There were so many pouches. I loved it.
Oh, yeah, he had so many pouches. He even had the little pouches with his face on it.
Mm.
And there was another excellent shout out to his creator who can't draw feet. Like good stuff.
So the overall opinion of the new look X-Force.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah, X-Force.
Because that was
So
my thing
good.
when I saw the X-Force on the trailer. I was like,
Let's
oh,
just say,
snap. It's
perfection.
all right, good.
Beautiful.
I will say,
Shatterstar is probably one of my favorite X-Force
Then you will
characters.
not be
Really?
disappointed.
he was.
Yeah, I know
You
he
are
was.
the only person in life I've ever
Dude,
heard. Actually
I had
say
the
those
shadow. I had the
words.
cards. I had the action
you're
figures.
gonna-
Everyone had
love
those too. You know who
Deadpool
died
2.
in every fight I staged with those action figures? Shatterstar.
You're gonna love
All
Deadpool.
right.
Shatterstar is the
Do
best
you know what
character
Shatterstar's power was, bro?
in
Yes,
Deadpool
he's
2.
alien and an a-hole. That's his power.
No,
You didn't know.
that's not his power.
His power was he can use any weapon, no matter
Yes.
what as soon as he touched it, he automatically know how
Yes.
to use it, no matter what it was.
Yes.
All I
Could have
know-
been like a pink
all
dildo,
I
blah
know
blah
is
blah.
he
blah.
had two swords, and I wish he died in every issue.
No, he had a
That was-
sword
that was
with two
trash.
blades that were
Yeah,
separated.
that. Wait, no, he had two of those, didn't he?
Yeah, two.
I'm not
That's
judging,
what- that's what I'm
man.
talking about.
I
Yeah.
loved Adam
I love
X.
you, Mix.
I know. I'm not
All right,
judging.
all
I
right,
loved
well-
Adam X. Remember Adam X?
Yes,
He-
dude, come on.
He make lots of
I'm
little
a huge
cuts.
X
Make little
Factor,
cuts.
X-Force.
What's his power? Oh, well, first he's got to cut you. Just a little bit. He's got to cut you.
And then
I
it goes
love
in.
him. So edgy. He's got like a backwards baseball cap and braids
brother.
and like a little beaded goatee.
So what
You know
love
who I
him.
like? I like Strong Guy and Maverick. Okay, that's
just
where
don't
I'm
like
at.
fun.
Maverick
Pat
was
doesn't
great.
like fun.
Maverick was great.
Yeah,
I love that character. Strong Guy was just chip.
Maybe if
Strong
I'm-
Guy was like the best iteration of Judge Doom. Okay, that's Strong Guy. With
Maybe
that,
if I'm
with
really
that bald
lucky,
head spit
Yeah,
turtle.
I
I'll
just
get-
love that.
I'll get
little
Adam
white
X
spit
in
girl.
Deadpool 3.
All
I'm
right,
real lucky.
all right.
You hear me out there? Anyone who works on Deadpool, I want Adam X in Deadpool 3.
Now,
Thank
is
you
there
so
going to
much.
be a?
So-
supposedly there is going to be a 3.
So there's not only going to be a 3.
Oh, there's more.
There's
Spin-off?
actually going to be a standalone X-Force film
Nice.
separate from Deadpool 3. So saith the.
That I think might be a bit much, though.
Is this going to happen? I don't know.
Well, are we
This is
gonna-
just
so-
what
are we
based on the
sites are
Cannonball,
saying.
based on the
Boom, boom.
performance
This
of the
is just
movie,
what
can they
sites
not
are
carry
saying.
their own movie?
Now, honestly, I don't think so, because as much as I like this movie, it did have several flaws, and as a story itself, I feel this was more interested in giving fan service than in telling
Oh, okay.
a coherent,
I disagree.
a unique story. I do like the way they presented it, but I don't think this was ever intended as like a grand opus of, I got the Deadpool trilogy or whatnot.
No, it's a
You know?
good sequel. I would say that it's a good sequel. Is it a phenomenal sequel? No, but you know what? It's a good sequel. I was saying if I want to give Deadpool a 10 out of 10, because for me, Deadpool 1, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that was perfect.
This is an 8, which
No,
is
I-
still
that's fair.
a
I concur with that.
superior film, which is still a movie that I would say absolutely go see. It's wonderful. Like, again, this is not, I'm going to say this the least spoilery possible. Something that happens in the first 5 minutes that made me really, really mad. And then as it played out, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing with this. And it's phenomenal. Like, they really, other than the queer baiting, really like rose and met every expectation I had. And I think that it was very, very well done. Very enjoyable.
Now, Josh Brolin's as Cable, like, was he portraying like
He's so
Deadpool Cable combo? Because usually it's very hokey and comic-y, or is he like
No,
more
he's
serious?
not quite
Cable?
there yet.
There's no friendship between
Well, there's-
Deadpool and
So
Cable.
this
for
is
the
Cable.
majority-
We get there.
majority
We
of
get there. This is how does that friendship blossom?
Okay, for the majority of this, but
He's the he's the main antagonistic character for the most of this film, but
Mhm.
it's very. I mean, again, I don't want to give away things, but
it was an interesting take too on
Very
how they
good.
introduced more characters that we have always hoped to see and see done right.
Okay.
And
Well
this,
said.
I think, being removed from the direct influence of the studio heads that are responsible for giving us things like working in Juggernaut memes in
Yeah.
X-Men movies, we're able to get the right representations of certain characters and put them in interesting and fun situations, and also allow them to make the most inappropriate references without
we got
going
a
too
lot.
far.
There's a lot more Colossus in this one, and he's my special boy, so I was really
That's
excited
what's
about that. And yeah, there's just some Colossus got some good lines in this one.
Yeah.
it's real good.
They did a lot of a lot more fourth wall stuff too that I think sometimes was a bit much, but the way they worked in what was funny was just like spot on. Like things you're thinking and things you may have thought about the first movie, they call out. And the thing is, you don't see it coming until you're right there and like, oh, I was just thinking that right now.
It's
So I appreciate that as well. I appreciate that self-awareness too.
Well, it's hard for them a little bit because one of the cruxes of Deadpool is, of course, his little yellow boxes in the comics, is that we get that fourth wall breaking in a very specific way where Deadpool kind of talks to himself. He has the white boxes, he has little yellow boxes. It's a whole thing. And you have to have more of almost like a soliloquy aside to have that fourth wall break. And I feel that this, more so than the first one, did a very good job of having a comic book flow to it, if you will, where all of the plot lines of the movie felt very comic book in origin.
Well,
like,
that was one of
it
my
wasn't
issues,
trying
actually.
to be too realistic.
That was one of my issues, actually, because I felt the rest of it really meshed as a story, except when it got really comic booky.
No, I
Okay.
love it.
And when it got really comic booky is there's a couple of scenes, and even though the scenes themselves are enjoyable, they took me out of the movie for a few minutes when I'm like, this is obviously set up to be like a big comic book-esque scene. And the thing is, the way they wrote it, it worked, but it felt like it worked by accident to me.
No, I
You know,
disagree.
it felt like this is them actively trying to make a comic book movie. And I thought that was a mistake that just happened to pan out for
See,
them.
my thing is that this is
You
a
think that was
comic book
intentional
movie.
though? Like, you don't think that was an intentional approach? I mean, it is Deadpool.
Well, no,
so-
no. My thing is, one of the things that's really worked for the Marvel movies, for comic book movies in general over the past few years, has been making things less comic booky and more realistic story flow-esque, Even you're dealing with ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
Thor, the god of thunder, coming down
then-
from the Rainbow Bridge.
But then I would
and
say,
they made it work somehow.
well, the most
Deadpool's
but the
kid-
most successful Thor movie for me is Ragnarok, which is also the most Kirby-esque comic book.
Yes, but you are always going to be biased on those things because you love Loki. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm
No,
wrong.
you are wrong because
Mm.
I'm a huge fan of Thor comics in general, and that's really diminishing on the fact that I'm a long time comic book fan.
All right. Well, I apologize. I've always felt that there was a skewing there, but if I'm off base, my bad.
As I've said in many different times, I don't actually like Marvel Universe MCU Loki, but my point is that I feel one of the highest points for me for Deadpool 2 is the fact that it felt like I'm watching a comic book movie that felt like a live action comic book and wasn't trying to be too realistic, and I actually appreciated that. We clearly have different opinions on it.
Definitely.
And
This is the thing
how
that
it is.
I was really digging, and that's like the one thing that took me out of it. Now, don't get me wrong. That does not mean I did not enjoy this picture, and that does not mean I did not enjoy Deadpool enough to recommend it, because I actually do. I give it a thumbs up, but also have to inject that caveat of the first one was a solid movie. The second one felt like a comic book movie. But I still give it that thumbs up. Mix?
I would give it a super thumbs up. I enjoyed it immensely.
Mm-hmm. Deadpool 2 is out in theaters right now. I highly recommend checking it out. Also, Rick, recommend checking it out because, dude,
I'm gonna watch it
go on,
Thursday.
man. We wanted you in on this.
Thursday, first thing, man.
All right.
I'm excited now.
We sold you?
Yeah, I'm a huge Cable fan, man. Like
You will enjoy it. Then you will
Cable,
enjoy.
like like the sinister story between Scott Summers and how he's related to the. Like I know that whole like familial hierarchy, so it's like I'm just excited to finally see
Coolness
him.
skips a generation in the Summers family.
We'll talk.
I still say Corsair.
You know your comic.
They should have worked Corsair in somehow. That's my opinion.
That would be so dope, but they can't do that.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were gonna do with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yo, so did I.
I swear to God, if they were
Wrong
gonna bring
universe.
Corsair, I would
Wrong
have been
universe.
so
They can't.
mad if they did
They
that.
don't own that sheet of
Really?
characters. He's lumped in with the X-Men stuff.
Oh, that's true.
Wait, but I
That
thought
pocket.
all the Marvel cosmic.
We're not quite there yet. We're not quite anything that's like tangentially X-Men. We're not quite there yet.
When will they learn?
Well, they own it now. I know
Yeah,
they're like in
that's why
some
I'm
dark
saying
vault
it's happening
figuring that crap
very
out right
slowly.
now. Eventually, somebody's gonna spill out and just mention mutant, and then you'll be like, "That's it." It
Wait,
starts
so
there
Then, so then maybe we'll get Living Tribunal for no reason.
Why?
for no reason.
All right, so it's Deadpool 2, recommended by those of us who actually caught it. Johnny.
Sorry. Tomorrow.
Man was
it's,
busy in the sun.
matinee night, so
All right,
I'll probably catch
Oh
it
yeah,
then.
Tuesday cheap matinee.
Yeah, on Apple
You
Cinema.
gotta forgive Johnny. He was in the Bermuda
Shout out to
Triangle.
Apple
He
Cinema.
wasn't
They have
even
new
on
seats.
Earth.
Yeah, new
Trying to
seats
skip it.
and still very low prices. I think it's like $4 and
nuts.
change
Yep.
For a matinee.
For
for matinee
Yep.
to
At the
every
Apple?
Tuesday
Yep.
at the Apple. Yep.
Which one? Which one you go to?
Ample parking.
Yeah, there. The Pond, Fresh
Apple
Pond.
Cinemas
Fresh Pond?
Fresh
Yeah.
Pond. Highly
Every
recommend.
Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Okay.
This has been
They
the Geek
also-
Down,
yeah, they're
sponsored by Apple Cinemas in Cambridge. I want to thank you all for joining us for another action-packed, fun-filled show. You can catch us every Monday nights right here on WMFradio.com. But if you were just listening and not viewing, you can also catch us at twitch.tv/TheGeekDown. Or on the YouTube channel, you search The Geek Down. We're usually the first ones to come up. Also, we're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Follow us. Find us on SoundCloud, on iTunes.
Instagram.
Subscribe.
Instagram.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our follow us on Twitch. All those places. Be sure to hit that button. Hit the on YouTube. Hit also the little bell that's right next to the subscribe button, so you can get the alerts for whenever we go live.
You heard what the man said. Get on it. All right. And also, you can catch us right here Monday nights, 9 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. I want to thank Rick.
Basic.
I want to thank Mix.
Yay.
I want to thank Johnny.
Yo.
I want to thank Tom. I want to thank you all. I've been Pat B, and this has been the Geek Down, reminding you all, be excellent to each other. Peace.